Hero can shape up on this aggression. I think, again, with how he's playing, Razor does fit that style. I'll make a note here, Mike. I never realized that the Storm Bear, it just crossed me that that was the Dota 1 model.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took me, like, literally since the set released, it did not cross my mind.
Oh, you literally just
So
never
there you
realized.
go.
Okay.
No, I never realized. I've never seen the set as well. I've never seen anyone use the set. So to be fair, I've just never seen anyone pick it up. But now that I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's the callback. Just took me back. I suddenly had flashbacks of the old HUD and the map for some reason.
Yeah.
Because I actually used to play Storm in Dota 1 because it felt easy with Overload. It was
Yeah.
funny. So my life flashed before my eyes, Mike. I thought of Garena lobbies for like a good second there.
Oh, good old days. I do miss those days sometimes, I'll tell you, John. Anyway, they're gone now. We're old. What can you do? Time has passed.
30 seconds.
I mean, I will say, as much as I want to try and compliment the set, I don't like the set that much compared to how it used to look in Dota All-Stars. I think the Panda in Dota All-Stars just look better. I'm just going to be frank.
Well, you know, this is, you know, they can't cross copyright lines, Mike.
I understand, John.
This is as close as they can get.
I mean, to be
you'll
fair,
take it.
the company that made that Panda may not exist very soon with the way things are going. You know, we may not have copyright issues very soon, John. LGD going to fight for the bottom bounty rune. We'll be able to pick it up, but now the turnaround is here. FY and Tianmin going on to Y. You smile and low. Oh, he needs one more hit, and he's going to get it. In fact, FY is the one to take the kill. It would have been the perfect start for low, but FY had a different idea. He'll take the first blood himself from the Lion.
Oh,
It's always the Lion.
You're
plays
gonna
as well,
start
John.
talking. Yeah, you're
It's
gonna.
always
I
the
was
Lion
gonna say
plays.
you're gonna go into that again. Look, FY set that kill up. Okay, he got the Earth Spike. He made it happen, so he deserves a goal. Let him have his boots. Let him have his early items. Is he actually going for something like some stat padding in lane? No, he's just going for the wand. But taking a look at these lanes breaking out up top with FY and good old Bach up against Shiro and Y on that Razor Venge. I mean, again, there's some good synergy here if you can run down with a static link.
Oh.
FY?
Hey, he's probably dead. FY is going to go down. It is a lot of damage. Like that plasma field plus the wave of terror even proving to be more than enough to take down the Lion. Once you get a few more levels up, the Lion is a bit of a sitting duck. You do have to be very wary of your positioning here as FY. And he also has to make a walk of shame back, by the way. Because he did TP up to the top lane. So, a bit of a slow walk back here for the Lion to boot.
I'll try to justify this by saying it. Free EXP for Bach is pretty important. I'm now grasping for straws to defend my Lion player here, Mike. But EXP is important. Like all seriousness here, Bach wants to hit level 3. He needs like a 1-1-1 build here to be sustainable. Once you have the value point in Kraken Shell, it's a lot harder to try to burst him down with the magic missile and static link that you're gunning for on LGD. So AR just has to kind of hold out till that point, and FY just has to be pretty careful. And again, one stun can still lead to the rundown, but as levels pump up, it shouldn't be as easy for LGD. Just the first 3 levels, perhaps, that feel awkward there for Azure. Looking at the other lanes, down bot, low, along with Chan Ming, up against home. FY again.
No, looking at the other lanes, John FY has been caught again. He will go down. I mean, he was trying to go for the harass on Shiro, but Shiro just turned around with the static link, and well, eventually with the magic missile setup of Why You Smile, it was a very simple kill.
Yeah, I have to prevent that bleed out. All of these kills onto Shiro. He's level 3 already. Big spike for the Razor to play with, either the level 2 static link or plasma field. More damage to pump out, easy chase down onto Bach while he's still stuck at 2. And, well, FY's early impact starting to fade a little bit. Not respecting that reach and control LGD has is going to cost them a little bit here on the side of Azure. Still, your other lanes are going fairly fine for the side of AR. The mid lane for Ori, for example, is going quite smoothly up against Setsu, and we've seen this from the Storm matchup up against Pango. It's just a lot easier to play with the Overload. Just spam it onto Setsu. He's not going to have too much top. Again, just a little bit of action, but not able to close it out this time.
I mean, 1-2 so far, 3 minutes in. Mid lane going really damn well for the Storm. As top lane, Why You Smile will end up going down. Nice little revenge pick up here for Bach. Just look at the Storm though. Like Ori's having an extremely good game already. 20-1 on this mid Storm. Setsu not having a bad time either, but we have seen a lot of Storms popping off quite a bit here in this this current patch. Especially once you get the Orca timing up on Ori, it just feels like the Storm can do whatever the hell he wants on the map, and we've just kind of seen it over and over again.
Yep. It's just, again, a melee matchup into Storm. A lot of Storms have just figured out how to work it, especially against the Pango. I think the worst matchup for Storm would be like the Kunkka, but that's not what you're up against. Setsu will get some good harassment off, and they are keeping track of Ori mid. They'll be able to deny off the Water Rune as well. So a nice boon here for Setsu. Tianming just slow on the uptake. And Ori not going to have any bottle top-ups. At the least has a salve. They are trying top again with a static link, but without the Venge to help set up, it's a little bit tougher. Although FY is not safe.
No, he's not. Shiro will eventually back his way out. Like the turnaround now into Why You Smile. Not too much damage being dealt though. They're going to both be fine. Bottom lane, Tianming being chased down here by New and PYW. Tianming still going to rush in onto the Rubik, but realizes he cannot do anything as New will take him down with that level 2 Whirling Death. Just that point for Tianming where you really can't be too aggressive as the Titan anymore. So this Timbersaw will just kind of rip you to shreds here with that Whirling Death spam, and that's exactly what we see there down at the bottom lane.
Yeah. And Low has to be careful as well. Again, every time you walk up to the creep wave, Whirling Death is on hand for New. The damage is starting to scale up, and Low just has to focus on that farm. Play a slower game on that safe, just build up. Or he's starting to cop it on the mid as well. Again, the bottle advantage for Setsu in terms of just the rune control earlier on is allowing a little bit of recovery, but not enough to really shove Ori away. She's more than happy. I think your concern down the line as well is with a Lion, you've got the Mana Drain onto Storm Spirit down the line, so there's a lot of room for Ori to actually just play around after level 6 with an initial item. Even just the Power Treads could open up that possibility. We'll see if that's something Ori will want to consider. Forced to walk back to base, so not the best feeling. Setsu already has his Rolling Thunder ready, and they are grouping around mid again for the 6-minute Power Rune. Great focus on LGD to just enable this mid Pango to really pop off here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so important. Oh, never mind. Ori gets lucky anyway. They all cap the top rune, and Ori still gets the power rune. So that's just, what can you do? Mid diff, right? Ori gonna be chased. PYW cannot get in range for the telekinesis, so Ori will be just fine. Just the desperation from LGD to shut down the Storm. There's so much of it. Azure still have not lost this mid-storm whatsoever. Ori is still farming perfectly fine. And ultimately, with the way things are going, like all the emphasis they've put on this mid lane, with the fact that Ori's still farming this effectively, it's a little bit concerning if you are LGD. As now Why You Smile and PYW, they're going to try and rotate around the Wisdom runes off the top side, but you've got Bach kind of guarding that area. Even Shiro now going to show up to try and snag this one away. Shiro will go for the static link, but there is a nice thirst spike from FY. Now even Setsu showing up. Bach cannot escape this. He is going down. So they are still going. Ori now rotating onto Shiro. Shiro in trouble. Shiro will drop. Eclipse coming in from Low. Low committing onto Setsu. Setsu's gone. I mean, they get the Wisdom Rune, but is it really that worth it?
Not quite. For the side of LGD, and you lose your safe lane and your mid in exchange for just the off lane and support, and you get some good activity from Low. He is forced to go Eclipse, but it pays off. You don't mind that too much on the Luna, and now you have this opportunity to switch lanes, get a shove up top, and start to use this space for yourself here. Azure sitting happy. Low and Ori now on top of net worth off the back of that. Only Bach hurting.
A bit of a missed chains there from New, though. New could have certainly secured that kill had that chains landed. Bach going to be very thankful to be able to get away from that one. A pretty hard lane for Bach to defend. I mean, the Timbersaw is one of the heroes that can really get through the HP pool quite easily of Bach, as Why You Smile now going to show up with a nice magic missile onto the Tide, and Bach is gone. Very nice setup here from the Venge. Do try to go for an attempt here onto PYW, rather onto the line of FY as well, but PYW unable to get the lift off.
Yeah, And they're going to be able to just slowly shove in that bot now. No movement out from the side of Azure to defend. Not that they're ready to defend it anyway. Again, Bach is still trying to gun for that level 6. He is at the point where he's only about 500 gold above FY's line. Not the best position for our Tide. Not going to have the map space to farm up either, as the priority is on Low and Ori. So, just going to have to soak what he can. FY as well, just trying to soak through the bot. But it will eventually fall. New is tanky enough to just front line. Has the Helm of Iron Will going for likely the Veil here. But no problems. No burst just yet on Azure Ray. I think this is setting up nicely. Like, you are still getting this timing on Shiro. Despite some sacrifices. Has the Falcon Blade. Can start to play around with his level 6. Can start to farm faster into his camps as well. Ori's key timing is going to be that Witchblade. This is when we see the storms start to pop off. Just a little bit more damage and mana regen on hand. And he is inching closer towards that timing. So we'll see if he can start to get work done. But with the tower opening up down bot, LGD has that reach. And there is some wards watching here at the very least, so it's not exactly the most dangerous part of the map for Azure. They did anticipate that early tower fall and have set up some vision to protect.
Well, bottom lane, bit of a group up. They're looking at New on the Timber. New's going to retreat, though. No vision to really give that information over, but he does kind of just sense that something is a little bit awry here down at the bottom lane. I mean, meanwhile, mid lane, they are looking towards Ori, but Ori is going to be able to just get away. Magic Missile does end up landing from Why You Smile, but it won't really matter. It's now the turnaround. Why You Smile getting caught out. Ori is going to be able to get this one, I think. In fact, you have Tianmin taking it as FY. Also being chased down. Meanwhile, Shiro actually kills off Bark on the Tide by himself. As FY is certainly going down. 2 for 1. And Bark dying on the Tide here completely alone against the Razor. Not the greatest of news.
Nah, it's again, that's where the Razor pick really shines. Just into the Tide Hunter. Have a lot of damage to soak up by himself. No one to protect Bach, while action's spreading out elsewhere. And he's just going to be the easiest target in the world right now for LGD. All the side of Azure can do is just farm up and low, try to hit these initial timings. They need to defend mid. They will just try to dissuade LGD from trying to find more objectives. But still not ready to fight. At the least, Finger is ready on FY, has his 6. So they'll try to smoke off the back of it. Chanming as well, just a couple of creeps away from the Earth Splitter. Let's see if he gets lucky. One fast pick off into a wider fight. Suddenly you have to deal with this additional control and damage here on Azure.
Oh, they're looking at Shiro. Shiro has not realized they are coming yet. Nice scan though, right at the last second. Will give enough info for him to be able to back his way out. A 3-man counter smoke, but Setsu and Why You Smile going to have their smoke broken. The Earth Splitter and the double Earth Spike! Oh, it's going to be a perfect setup here from FY and Tianming. Setsu and Why You Smile both going down. Setsu actually dying to the neutral camp, of all things. So at least you deny some of the cold away. But a perfect setup from FY and Tianming. That's the support dream right there.
That was a beautiful play, actually, going for the camp, right? Because when they rotated out with that smoke, you didn't have 6 yet on Chanming. Ori clearing out does give enough, and they have the perfect setup. Great ward being dropped as well from Chanming, holding that position, looking for someone to come in. And they managed to get the punish. Rather unfortunate you don't find that Pangolier kill, but again, you are building up. Ori has have that Witchblade flying through now.
Oh, regen rune, low. Ooh, not going to be able to keep it for Ori. He will get denied offers. Oh, Low's in trouble now. New right on top of the Luna. They need to help out. FY trying to move in. Does get a stun off, but Low is just locked down forever. He'll pop the Eclipse, but he is certainly just dead. So the rest of AR do not want any part of this any longer, though. A big Ravage coming out from Bark. Setsu in trouble. Oh. Double Earth Spike out. Yu's been locked down as well. Shiro's coming in from the back, but they've already taken down 2 of them. Tianming, he will be left behind. But ultimately, it's not the worst of trades. It started off as a very good team fight here for LGD, but AR, they pretty much make it work in their favor.
Could have gotten a lot worse for the side of Azure. Certainly happy to at least find a slowdown on New and onto our Pangolier Setsu. Like, these are the 2 heroes that are going to be, I mean, all of them are going to be trying to set tempo, but a lot of that movement forward, a lot of the angles being found are down to these two heroes. So you are just stalling out their timings by a tad, and again, building up on this Storm. Ori's the key part of Azure's lineup right now. It's down to the Storm to buy space for that recovery of Bach, to buy space for the Luna to become that beast as a carry. Still a ways off from feeling like that yet. On low, and going for what seems to be the Manta with the Yasha first. Does have room to at least clear out the stacks by himself. Bach, off the back of that fight, is starting to recover. You know, this Tide Hunter is still having a rough time of it, but you find a couple more of that, and again, he's been given a lot of space to just sit here. Top, though.
A bit of group up while you smile. Swaps in Ori. Ori is going to be able to zip away. FY will end up going down. They'll commit the Rolling Thunder just to ensure the TP does not go through. New is still in the chase on the Timber. He's quite low on mana, though. Setsu on the chase for Tianming. Inhibit him up, but that's going to be about it for now. Tianming will be okay. They'll take down FY. Tianming still hanging around. Does get Earth Spiked here by PYW, and never mind, he is gone. Sticking around to defend, but it does not pay off.
That's the risk you have. Even if it's your Lion dying up front, PYW has the opportunity to steal literally any spell, and it's going to be highly effective on that Rubik. Earth Spike doing a lot of work here from PYW, and that is the space to siege mid. And the side of Azure not going to be keen on taking any of these fights until, at the very least, Ravage is ready. Probably just wait for more items to be up on Bach as well, unless the opportunity presents itself. He does have the Vlads up and running, so that aura can come in clutch, especially for low if he decides to apply some pressure on top. But again, for the side of Azure, the moment now is to stem that bleeding. That early game tempo into the mid game that we were talking about for LGD is fully here. Sanjin Yasha up and running on Shiro, going for the BKB next. He's going to be happy in the front line. You've got the Eternal Shroud already up on you, so focusing in on that durability aspect as well over that early Veil. And the Diffusal into Mage Slayer for Setsu lining up as well. Everything's kind of coming together, and for Azure, where they've shined is actually trying to pick off LGD, right? It's when Azure are the ones on the offense's tree. Just need to kind of get some control back. Their wards are mostly defensive now, so looking to slow that pace out. Smoke from LGD on 2. See if they'll get something out, but they're not really grouped together. Maybe just a vision run for PYW and for New, but they have their sights set perhaps on Ori. Not an easy target to pin down, unfortunately.
Yeah, Ori's actually just holding on to 2.3k gold as well, just casually not spending anything yet. No queue up of the items either, as he's going to try for the Power Rune. New is going to be there to block the way, and, well, the Power Rune is going to spawn down bottom anyways. They are going to go for the fight, but why you smile? Immediately bursted down as New, losing half his HP, but Low's getting lower. Low is gone. Setsu on the chase for more is going to find FY. FY trying to survive, but now the stolen Eclipse from PYW. Bach got torn to shreds. Bach was trying to get a Ravage off, but that Lucent Beam coming in with the Eclipse from PYW, just too much damage.
It's just rough going for Azure. I mean, they get that instant control out on the Venge, but it's just a Venge. It doesn't care. LGD just coming in with a punish, understanding, again, this is their timing. This is their moment to go for these plays, to look for these kills. And it's coming together a lot better than Game 1. Again, they also tried to play tempo Game 1. We're missing out on every single kill. Now they're finding it off the back of this really good control and scouting. It's just super hard for the side of Azure to find anything right now. Again, you're not ready. You're not really ready on Bach. You'd want to blink up on FY. He is inching closer towards it, only 100 gold away. So that could open up more opportunities here. Ori does buy out the Kaya into the BKB. So wants to be able to sustain through some of that damage coming out here on LGD. But for LGD's part, in a really good position. I think the next thing you're going to be considering now is likely Roshan, which they can take at a reasonable pace. If the Storm doesn't quite hit Rosh though, so not going to be able to maximize the minus armor aspect. Will probably need a clean pick-off first. They've got their own Vlads running on Y, so more sustain coming through in the middle of these fights. Azure, I mean, they've got the Ravage still ready, this clump up top, but again, whether or not Bach wants to commit remains to be seen. Trying to hold on to some of these forward outer towers. Like, they know Roche is going to be a big factor. Tier 1 top is not something you can give away on Radiant End for that.
Well, they will protect for now. PYW is going to show up, prepped for the gank attempt that is coming. LGD slowly rotating their way towards the top lane, but it seems as though Azure, they will realize that this is not a good place to be, so they will retreat. You look at Shiro on that Razor, he's just having the freest time of his life, still top of the net worth board and working on towards the BKB now, just about halfway through the recipe gold. This Razor's certainly going to be a problem if he's allowed to farm like this. It's Azure, no interest whatsoever in trying to defend. Bottom lane, they could look to New though. I mean, New does have the Eternal Shroud, but they are going to make the jump in, trying to burst him down. Swap is out from Why You Smile, and it seems like New is going to be alright. They just do not have the damage output for this Timbersaw. And now the counter smoke is out. LGD, they've smokers 4, heading right through the river into the mid lane. They want to force a fight. They know how powerful they are at the moment. The pings are coming right towards that Radiant Triangle where Low and FY are currently hanging about. FY ready to break the smoke, does do so. Low should be able to retreat and FY will probably be lost. He will still blink away towards the tier 1 tower. They will both be able to get away. Rolling Thunder committed, but it amounts in nothing.
As long as they don't overcommit onto this tier 1 from Azure, you're pretty happy with that. FY does still show himself though.
He does. Shiro going to move right in. Hex is out, but Shiro should have his way with him as FY getting a little bit greedy, trying to push out the creep wave. Will get punished by LGD Gaming. That'll be the top tier 1 tower going down. And LGD, they'll maintain a 5k net worth advantage. It's New. Just going for a power rune. He'll be alright. He'll get stunned up for a moment, but it won't really matter.
Yep. They get the room out to get that Tormentor their way here on the side of LGD. Getting a really good free one on PYW, so some defensive lift backs now available for the Rubik. A little bit of light pressure on that top tier 2. They've got the fresh BKB ready on Shiro. And he's going straight into the AC, so he is meeting that mid-game timing here, where the Razor is just this really tanky front line. All their heroes on LGD actually very durable outside of the supports. Like, this trio is not easy to burst down. They've got the blink on Bach for Azure, along with FY's blink, of course, so there's some play, and Ori will at least clean up PYW. Does have the Parasma, so melting these supports is easier. My concern is really just the cores. Like, we saw what happened when they tried to jump New. That was with an Amplify damage rune on Ori. The Eternal Shroud just nullifies all of his output, and I don't think we were even seeing Setsu around with Mage Slayer. You get some swashes on to the Storm as well, and a lot of that damage is just not touching this Timbersaw.
Oh, absolutely. It's a tough time against the Timber, and this is why New, it's the one player I feel like from the Chinese region you really don't want to give the Timbersaw over to. That guy just knows the hero like the back of his hand, and he's been absolutely fantastic throughout this game. Only one death, and I believe that was prior to the laning stage even starting. I believe that was at the bounty route, so you're still having an extremely good time here in game 2. I mean, Azure, they're not out of it yet. It's still a pretty close matchup between these two teams. Just a 7k advantage the way of LGD Gaming. But it is certainly looking like LGD's game to lose. Ori will get stunned bottom. Still zips away. Swap is out though. Tianming in the meantime does get destroyed by New. Ori will be able to get himself out, but they are going to lose another Elder Titan. And LGD perhaps looking for the Roshan attempt now as they are right by the pit. They will move in.
Again, they've got the output here. They've got a good front line to just cop the damage. Slowly but surely, they will find it. Azure, I mean, that's a decent spot to fight into, but LGD has protected the area. Good forward ward by the outpost. And, again, just this general sense of having to catch up on the side of Azure will hold them back. We have not seen the blink attempts just yet from Bach. Pit would have been a nice place to feature that, but yeah, just no forward vision here for AR. A lot of protection for LGD. Secondary life going to be on hand. The one thing for Azure, like, even if these tier 2s drop, their high ground threat is pretty big. You've got the Earth Splitter, you've got the Ravage, you've got Eclipse, you have a lot to play with. into the high ground defense. So you can kind of just hold out on that. Like, this is the strong point for LGD. You just kind of need to ride out the storm here for Azure. They will try with a smoke out, but I don't know if this is going to work.
Smoke broken on the Pango. They'll see him. Setsu does get jumped here by Ori. They do have the swap from Wayu's Smile, but Setsu is still going to go down. Wayu's Smile also getting caught. 2 heroes going the way of Azure. A successful team fight here for the Radiant. It's pretty bad news for LGD.
And that's a very simple, low committal team fight as well. 2 support ults drop, Finger and Earth Splitter out, but you hold on to the Ravage. You get a 1.7k gold swing your way off the back of that for Azure. That's a lot of recovery. That was from a 7k lead into 5k with those pickoffs here for Azure. So great read out from them to just go for the smoke, knowing that LGD would likely split up to work the map and just not have to deal with the Razor with 2 lives just yet. And they are still #1 in net worth with Low. He has his own fresh BKB up, going for the Shard. I'm wondering if this is a game for him to consider the Conda, as we tend to see Lunas go. He's got the room for that now, after the Shard is up. Side of LGD, do need to maximize this Aegis. And this is when they're strong, for about 5 to 10 minutes. This is their really big spike. I think once you inch past 10 minutes after the time of picking up this Aegis into second Roche, that's where things might get a little bit more awkward. Like, you're starting to plateau on Shiro to an extent. The AC can be the next stable pickup for him. He's going to have 2 item slots afterwards, but growth starts to get limited. Maybe you look at your Ags to siege or just have more damage. You can start to think about that refresh, but you will slow down. And the Luna is just going to be out farming as Low already has been. And Ori, once he has that protection of BKB, things do simplify here. So yeah, a timer on LGD. Are starting to clump up. Maybe shove in top tier 2. But they need to start knocking on these objectives. There is enough map space for the recovery of Azure.
BKB now up on Ori. He's going to work towards the side device next. 4k advantage still standing for LGD, but not too much to write home about here. They are pushing in the top tier 2 tower, LGD. Still going to try and press the advantage they do hold. 2 minutes left on the Aegis timing for Shiro. The top tier 2 will be left to go down, but Low is going to try and trade with the bottom tier 2. LGD Gaming not making the rush to try and defend this quite yet. They will just stick around and trade evenly. They do have the opportunity to think about high ground, but they are actually tipping back towards the mid-tier 2 towers. That's a tower. They're not... Oh, Shiro. He's moving right in by himself here. Shiro, very, very confident. Tianming for a TP play out will not make it. So LGD Gaming, they do find themselves a pick-off for their trouble. But it is a 5-hero rotation back into the mid lane for only a support all the time.
And considering the map state, again, you're playing into Aegis of LGD. You still manage to find a tier 2 to even out map control. 2 tier 2s versus 2 tier 2s here in opposite lanes. Azure are fairly happy. Like, they just want to hit and run, dodge the second life of Shiro for now, and just hold out. So, doing a great job of just stalling. They might look for pickoffs. New?
They're going to make the jump into the Timber Sword. New is alone at the moment. This could be the prime opportunity for them to finally deal with this Timber. New is a very tanky boy, however, but they are continuing to try. New almost looks like he's sticking around on purpose. Finger's going to come out from FY, and New is gone. That's a big one. That Timber worth quite a lot of gold here for Barkers. Ori now going to pop the BKB, and the Ravage flies out. Both supports getting caught in that. The Ori does not want to deal with the Rolling Thunder of Setsu. Looks to back off. Does zip away, but Setsu's still in the chase. But Setsu's going to be careful. He's alone here. TP play out. He's okay.
That network lead is gone, Mike.
It is?
Just 1k for LGD. Really great pickoffs from Azure. It stems from Shiro showing on mid by himself, right? He's sieging tier 2 by himself. That gives the info out for Azure to move forward and just punish this Timbersaw who's trying to play the lane solo, as you tend to do on a Timb. And Azure, their game reads just on point in this series so far, equalizing the game. And this is where it gets scary for LGD. We were talking about this. After first Aegis, you have to be able to clear the map. One tier 2 still stands. You've made some progress. But now as you wait for second Roche, and that's when Azure are bouncing back in. This net worth is starting to amp up.
Playing a little bit on edge there. He's going to be able to zip TP away. Does get himself a nice little Wisdom Room pickup. Bottom lane. Buck may get caught. Shiro does have a haste rune is around the area. He's going to notice Buck around. Buck. Link on cooldown. He does have a TP to play with, and we'll use the Ogre Seal Totem, but does get spotted here for the swap. Mid TP. Buck still trying to run, but knew that whirling death damage takes him out real damn quick.
It does. Should lead into the tier 2 siege without Ravage. Not going to be a comfy fight for Azure in the wider team fight. So they will manage to clear out the map. Just force Azure to just try to hug their high ground and wait it out. They do have some good items being formed up though. I believe Low is going for what seems to be something like the Scotty here. To cut through that sustain that is flowing through. And should be up shortly, so you've got some good timings here for Azure to still play with. Like this is the ace up their sleeve on Azure as the game scales on. It's the Luna, right? Like she's gonna have a lot of output. The Razor does prefer prolonged fights playing with static link. Whether or not the Razor can even static link something like the Luna to mitigate damage also remains up in the air here. And the Conda is fully done for Low, so it's got that spell spam. Smoke out on Azure. A minute until the Roche respawn. If they manage to find this fight within striking distance of Roche respawn, it goes really scary for LGD. The high ground is not a safe bet anymore for their defense.
This is the point of the game where we could certainly see a big turn happening here for Azure. Oh, Shiro breaks the smoke of Ori. Ori having a look, we'll see him, zips forward immediately. Shiro does have his BKB available, but he's been hexed up. Swap is out though. Why you smile will give Shiro another chance at life, as FY is the one to go down. Not bad at all for LGD Gaming. They will pop a BKB and a Rolling Thunder, but they will be able to get Shiro out. Problem is, Azure, they know the BKB was committed. They know the Rolling Thunder's down.
The amp damage.
They've even got the double damage available on Ori now. Setsu still around, has not been spotted yet, but eventually Ori is going to find him. He'll go into the roll-up. Ori, oh, that's a lot of damage. Sheesh. That is a lot of damage from Low. PYW now being jumped. PYW gone. This Kanda Lucent Beam crap, man. It's too much. Half his HP just disappeared.
It was the Earth Splitter and the Conda, to be fair, but yeah, it's a ton of damage coming out there on the side of Azure, and that does stem from that Rolling Thunder and BKB being popped. High ground opens up. They know there's no threat from the Razor anytime soon without him being comfy with a BKB. They've got a secondary creep wave coming in early. Fortify once more from LGD that we've seen them do multiple times in these defensive scenarios. So the creep wave comes in, no problem. Mid-rack's just gone. Control back towards Azure. It is a longer Roche, a minute away, so there's time to regroup here on LGD and consider that objective. But this is the point where you look at this Razor of Shiro and you start to ask yourself, are you really going into that late game scenario with Razor? Are you going to be able to find that space to get something like your Ags BKB? Will you even find your level 25 here? Those are all key for the Razor to keep up with Luna. And those are all still far away, Mike. It's Azure Ray's time to shine now.
It certainly is. Azure Ray turning this game right on its head. LGD Gaming, we've seen this before from this squad. You know, they sometimes wait a little bit too long. Sometimes the pressure just gets to them and things start to fall apart. Sight device now up on you. There is going to be a 5-man smoke to boot. They'll head right towards that Roshan pit in the bottom right corner of the map. Roshan still 10 seconds away from respawning. LGD looking for an entrance into this fight. They're going to break the smoke on Buck. Buck does have the Ravage ready. Yu is going to jump in onto Tianming, but he will get vortexed immediately here by Ori. Meanwhile, the Rolling Thunder, they almost find the Timber. It looked like they have taken down YU Smile, and now the Timber still in trouble. Ori, he's taken down Yu. Yu is gone. Shiro.
He's just standing there.
He's in the middle of all of it. Shiro's gone. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's it.
A full team wipe, and they ignore Roshan. I mean, the game may as well be over. No buybacks available.
They know it's over. Even with buybacks, there's no tools available. There's no Rolling Thunder. There's no stable way to static link without the BKB. And just that movement out. The scan does spot them in the pit, but Azure take a forward position. They're going for the end game. They want this over with. They want to go into those grand finals already.
It looks very over here. Azure trying to go right for the jugular. You are going to have the support duo respawning rather soon from LGD Gaming, but there's no way they can defend on their own. Tier 4 towers are now gone. Ancient exposed. GG is called. PYW has had enough. He has seen enough. And Azure, they will be your second grand finalist here for the China qualifier for ESL One Birmingham. They will go up against G2IG for that final spot at Birmingham. And John, I'll tell you what.